Unknown number. Your parents are safe. 12:43 a.m. Is the rumored Blackwood Butcher playing some sort of sick prank? Or is something even more sinister responsible for their disappearance? Will Mary be able to find the identity of the mysterious killer? Or the whereabouts of her parents? Or will her meddling threaten to make her a permanent resident of the very cemetery she so admires? Hello everybody, BakaWashu here, and welcome to Cemetery Mary, a visual novel. This time looked pretty spooky. I was looking up ghosts and stuff, and this one's been out for a while. And I absolutely love the design of this character, so let's do this. I have never been to a funeral that I didn't enjoy. That is, until very recently. And I wasn't quite sure how to feel. It was a beautiful service. And one they certainly deserved. If only it had come later in their lifetime. And maybe it could have been prevented. If there wasn't a murderer in my city. That's what everyone's been saying anyways. The Blackwood Butcher. That's what they called them, at least. It was hard not to overhear the rumors people said about them. I heard they strike at night. I heard they only target one person at a time and don't stop until they're dead. I heard it's a ghost blindly seeking revenge. I didn't believe any of that. At least not at first. But my parents did. And because of that, they didn't like me going off to the cemetery alone. Staying until it's closed. Walking home by myself in the dark. Even though it was only across the street, these rumors had made them afraid for my safety. Do you really believe they're real? I asked my father. I do, he answered. Are you really worried for me? My mother did not say anything. And that is to be expected. They thought I was a perfect target. But I didn't believe in it. Still, they were worried about me. So they sent me off to live with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. They didn't live far. At least not anymore. They moved from their fancy home in gorgeous Hallen City, to a small little cabin in the woods. Okay. I never understood why. But I never really asked about it either. My parents felt it would be safer with them. I didn't want to leave, but every day I stayed only seemed to stress them out more. So, I went, to make them feel better. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. I barely left the house, barely went to town anymore, and when I did, I was always with someone. Taking all precautions to avoid becoming a victim of the butcher. But I still thought it was only a rumor. Even if the number of deaths in our community increased, I never thought that I, or someone I knew, would be a victim. Then that thing happened. To those two. And for the first time, I was worried. Shortly after that, my own parents disappeared. They weren't in the diner, nor could I contact them. Even the authorities couldn't figure it out. No one had seen them. It was as if they had suddenly vanished. As if they were killed off. I don't like to think about that possibility. Actually, well, there was that other thing that happened. Oh, I thought they were going to say, actually, I love thinking about their death. It brings me happiness because I like cemeteries. Maybe I should have told the authorities about it. Or anyone for that matter. But I was too afraid of what might happen if I did. Oh. Oh, look, we're sleeping. and we got one eye on the phone. And now we're up. I knew I would fall asleep if I sat down. Ain't that just the worst? Well, is it raining outside? Who hears this and thinks that? Of course, I guess I do that all the time. I'm like, just look outside, it's clearly raining. I'm like, is it raining? It wasn't supposed to rain today. Lights on outside. Is Croven out there? I better go check. Bam. Oh my god, Croven. I'm digging you. If your name isn't Croven, what are you doing out here, you weirdo? You're out here. Where's he out? No, okay, so this is our cousin. Croven, I finished dinner. Come inside. What, can he not be inside when you're eating? Oof. Dude, he's just listening to the water. Oh my god, I'm taking way too long. Quit it, Mary. How many times do I have to tell you? They went to hell. What are you doing out here? It's raining. I can see that it's raining, Mary. Dude, just kick him in the back of the head. Croven, I finished dinner. Come inside. It's spaghetti. I used your favorite sauce, too. I made you dinner. You dick. Okay, I'll be inside in a second. Just let me put this out. Oh, alright. All the food is cold. I know. I fell asleep after I made it, so that's never been a problem for you before. I made too much. Are you upset with me for what I said earlier? Don't apologize to this dick. Be honest. I just wanted to take a seat in the living room, but, that's fine. I'm not complaining. Other than that, we didn't say much and dinner was quiet. I cleaned up most of it, but Croven helped a little bit. After that, he went to go sit in the living room. Once I finished cleaning the kitchen up, I joined him like usual. Is there a reason that you're making the spaghetti even though you're a guest in the house? Normally after dinner, when Croven and I sit here together, we do something fun. We play a game on our phones together, or we get out a board game, or we play cards. Talk about our days if something exciting happened. But that's when Aunt and Uncle were still, Croven's been in a pretty bad mood since. It's not as if I can blame him. I want to talk to him, but I don't really know if he's in much of a mood to talk. Saving before we try, because I bet we're gonna get options. Yep. What should I do? Just go to bed. I made you spaghetti, and then I sat down for 2 seconds, and then I left. Real talk, though. Pretty much anything. If a girl ever made me spaghetti, that's a keeper. Crow, do you want to talk about it? There's nothing to talk about. I've still got my old therapist's number, you know. Croven? Ain't there a reason she was your old one? I know. But she was good at this kind of stuff. And I've been thinking that maybe. Shut up, Mary. Just shut up already. Can't I be bitter over it? Why are you trying to rush me so hard into therapy, huh? Thought you knew about this shit better than anyone, but here you are. I'm not gonna stop being upset just because you miss me being all happy, smiley, and shit. Can't you just stop trying to can't you just stop trying to talk to me about it? I'll get over it when I get over it. Maybe get your own life, and then you'll stop worrying so much over mine. Dude, spit in his spaghetti next time. Sorry. I think I ended up making Croven more agitated trying to talk to him. You think? Oh well. After a few more moments of awkward sitting, I went upstairs and headed to my bedroom. I didn't want to talk to Croven angrier than I had already. Oh, make Croven angrier than I had already. It's not your fault. Don't self-efface. He's the angry one. I brushed my teeth and got changed into my pajamas. I stretched out on what you could consider my bed. The room I have in the cabin is nice. It's not like my room back in my actual home. But I've stayed here so long, I've been able to decorate it a bit more to my liking. Can I ask a question just about the story so far? So, the aunt and uncle are in hell, presumably dead, and these two children are staying in a cabin in the woods with no identifiable income eating spaghetti, and she's living in a cold room without an actual bed when her actual parents could just... Did they not like Croven? Like, can't you... Is this actually a safer situation? Wasn't the reason Mary went out? I'm just trying to understand. I think that more will be revealed soon, but I'm getting caught up as we are right now. It's a pleasant room to stay in, even if it's not quite home. Of course, I don't normally sleep right away. I usually read a book or watch a movie on my laptop, or lie awake thinking of every embarrassing thing that's happened in my life. But as of recent, I've picked up a different nighttime ritual. One that's nowhere near as pleasant. The text message I had received the days following my parents' disappearance. Oh, it's her parents that have disappeared. I like her jammies, they're very cool. It was from a number I didn't recognize. Your parents are safe, it had said. I know I should have done something smart. I should have told somebody. But instead, I texted the number back, and they responded to me. I've noticed that other than the first message, they don't usually reach out to me. It's me who keeps texting them, hoping to find out what's happening behind all this. Are you still awake? I'm sorry. Are you still awake? I'm awake whenever you want to talk. Are my parents still alright? Will you tell me who you are? I have a feeling that one's not going to get us very much mileage. Let's try this one. Yes. Kill them both. I am keeping a careful eye on them. How can I be so sure you even have them? What if you're just trying to prank me? Why would I do that? Well, why would you text me that you have kidnapped them in the first place? Because I'm hoping it's a prank. I'm sorry, it isn't a prank. I can promise that it's all real. How did you even get my number? Your parents gave it to me. Oh, well, thank you, parents. Why would they do that? Because they care about you. You must be lying to me. My parents wouldn't do something like that. I'm sorry, you don't have to know your parents as well as you think you do. What does that mean? Seriously, you freaked me out. I just want my parents back. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Why they cannot move back to the parents, because the parents are kidnapped. The other two parents are dead? Is that what happened? Please don't drag this out. I just want them back home. You should get some rest. It's late, isn't it? I'll talk to you tomorrow. I don't like to text for too long. Until then. Goodbye. Goodbye. Winky emoji. They suggested that I get some rest. But how do they expect me to do that? I'd never felt more restless in my life. even asleep. I knew I wouldn't rest. When I woke up the next morning, Croven had already left for the day. But that wasn't a surprise. He'd been staying out late and leaving super early ever since the incident. I think being home bothers him. Not surprised. Whenever I pass the diner, I too feel like not being there. So her parents must have owned a diner. That's what I'm getting. It's not the same without Mom and Dad after all. Is it still open without them? Despite the cabin being out in the middle of the woods, it really isn't all that hard to get back to Blackwood. Outside of our cabin isn't always a faint dirt trail. It gets a bit twisty at some parts, but isn't too confusing. It takes about 15 minutes to walk down, but maybe 10 if you're fast. Creepy creeper. At the end of the trail, there's a fence. One with a slight gap in it. And past the fence, there's a little community. It isn't big. A few trailers with a few people living all the way out there. Far from anything that's, anything. But there's a road there and a bus that comes through. It runs through Blackwood. So, whenever you need to leave, we take this bus. And saving. I save way too much, I know. How many slave slots do we get? Oh my, holy crap, that's plenty. And then after the end of a short trip, you're in Blackwood. It's the city I grew up in. It's beautiful. I like the tombstones. And I always really loved it. There's the library and the local stores. But my most favorite place to be is the Blackwood Cemetery. It's got lots of trees to read under and the prettiest headstones I've ever seen. There's a mausoleum too. Though I've never been inside. I wonder if that'll be important later. Private mausoleum, you know. I don't know who it belongs to. Anyways, I always try to leave flowers when I visit, at least every so often. And I visit a lot. I like to think it helps them, you know? Not feel lonely. And then, after having spent my day in Blackwood, I come back home the same way I left. Exactly the same way, but I always make sure no one sees the way I come back home. Just in case, you know. Despite the recent events, I too leave the cabin more than ever now. Croven is rarely home, and I don't like being here alone. Don't you have to go to, school? I know I'm just being paranoid, but I don't like the thought that maybe the butcher could find me out here all alone. Even if that's the whole reason I'm out here in the first place. So, I go out a lot now. I feel more comfortable surrounded by lots of people. Despite how things may seem, I always preferred to be around people anyways. That's one reason why I like to go to the cemetery so often. There's always people there, even if you can't see them. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit. Who chops the wood? Does Croven chop the wood, or do you have to do that too? Oh, quick save. What? I always forget that these have quick saves. I should just use those. My favorite outfit, which coincidentally is the only other outfit I own other than my pajamas. Croven's gone, and the bus I take out into town should be arriving any minute now. Where should I go today? You know what sounds great? Let's go to the cemetery. Should we go somewhere else today? I mean, I'm a fan of the library. Let's go there. I decided to go to the library. There's nothing quite like a good book. My favorite kinds of books are mysteries. Not necessarily murder mysteries, but mysteries in general. In fact, I kind of prefer it when the mysteries don't involve anyone dying. There's a lot less tension there, you know? But maybe I'm just too soft. I also, quite enjoy manga. Oh, favorite character. Especially the shoujo kind. I feel almost embarrassed to like them, but I find that they're cute and nice, and I like seeing characters fall in love. Yeah, a shoujo. Maybe that's what I'll try to find at the library today. I stepped into the library and began to make my way over to my favorite spot. A tucked away corner in the library right beside a window, or single window. Sometimes I'd spend an entire day in that corner just reading. I've even managed to finish entire books without leaving the library. I looked forward to doing something like that again today, but... Oh, gross, who's that? When I got to my favorite spot, I noticed a man was already sitting there. You look like you're named something pretentious. I was surprised because usually this library was pretty empty. But this man, he's familiar. I've met him before. Oh, my apologies. Did I take your seat? Yeah, and were you reading or sleeping? Your eyes were closed. Oh, it's you. Mary? Mary. Okay, Anta? Anta. Ant would be like if it was just an ant. It has to be Anta, right? Mary Anta? Ah, that's right. I remember you. From the funeral, right? Indeed. Do you remember my name? Reginald Ulp called it. That's right. It's a pleasure to see you here. I was hoping I'd run into you again one day. No? I hope that doesn't come off weird. It did a little, considering how she's probably like 12. Well, maybe not. Maybe she's just short. You were just such a pleasant person to be around. Yes, you're being a little creepy here, Reginald. You really brought life into that funeral, ha ha ha. Oh, really? Thank you, I think. So what brings you to the library today? Oh, well, I didn't really have any plans, so I thought I'd just check out a book or something. Likewise. What kind of book were you interested in checking out? Be honest, a shoujo. I'm actually here to look for shoujo manga. Shoujo manga? What's that? Oh, it's like... Do you know what a manga is? I have an idea, but I can't say I've ever read one myself. Reginald, you are at the literal bottom of the tier list of characters. Well, it's like one of those, but it usually centers around the romance between the two characters. And sometimes there's like friends or rivals. But I really like the comedy ones. Because you get cute jokes mixed into the romance. But sometimes the drama ones are really cool too, or really cute too. And they can get really intense. And, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm not good at explaining things. No worries, I think you did a good job. A shoujo sounds interesting. Perhaps I'll check one out myself later. I'm trying to be more open to new things after all. Anyways, what are you here to read? He's like reading Mein Kampf. Me? I'm reading Manslaughter of the Disorient Locomotive. Oh, I've been meaning to read that one too. Do you want it then? What? Oh, no, that's okay. Please, take your time. Just, if you wouldn't mind, would you tell me when you're done with it? You know, so I could maybe read it after? I'm fine with that. Just don't come looking for me. I'll come here when at routine times. Don't follow me or look at me when I'm walking away. Though I've already gotten pretty far in. I don't think it'll be finished today. You have a cell phone. Do not give that guy your number. Don't do it. Did I just shrink the screen? I think I did. I'm going to try to tactfully redo it. It's not going to work. Whatever. Would it be alright to have your number? No, Creeper. You can't have my number. Absolutely not. Actually, what she should do is text the number of the creepy thing that has been whatever texting her at the middle of the night, and it's just like his cell phone rings. That way I can notify you as soon as I'm finished. And, well, I'd like to try and be friends too, if that's alright. Oh, really? I mean, yeah, of course. I don't want to be your friend. Reginald and I exchanged phone numbers. I was shocked he even remembered me. But I'd consider meeting him again a pleasant surprise. And one I really appreciated. Alright, we are getting different vibes, Reginald. After our exchange, I picked out a shoujo book from one of the shelves and began to read in one of the other spots in the library. I ended up liking it so much I looked for the other books and I brought 2 or 3 of them home with me to read later. Well, that's cool. After I came home, had dinner, and cleaned the kitchen up, I began my usual nighttime routine. Saving before talking to Spooky. I got changed into pajamas, brushed my teeth, sat on my bed, and texted whoever they are. Hi, it's me again. Are you there? Yes? You're still not going to tell me anything, are you? No. Can I ask you something even if you won't give me an honest answer anyways? Okay. Are you the Blackwood Butcher? Would I tell you if I was? Are you afraid for their safety? Of course, why wouldn't I be? I see. Should I be afraid for my own safety? Why do you have them? Ooh, that's a good question. Saving? I save way too much, sorry guys. Who am I to tell you what you should and shouldn't be afraid of? Your fears are your own to judge. You're way too vague. You're like a neckbeard. Why do you even contact me to begin with? I thought you'd like to know about your parents. I'm only trying my best to keep you happy. You think I'm happy? Maybe not now, but you will be. I have to go now. Goodbye. Goodbye. After another frustrating and unsettling night of text messages, I got under the covers and tried my best to sleep. It wasn't easy, and I had a lot of difficulty trying. I don't remember exactly when, but eventually I was able to sleep, even if not peacefully. Dad? Yes, sweetheart. Yes? Is something wrong? Mama told me that Uncle Ray died. Did she know? Oh, did she know? Did she know? Did she now? Are we going to go see him? No. You don't need to worry about that. I don't? But, listen, Mary. Normally, when someone passes, you hold a funeral for them, right? Yeah. The thing about funerals, though, is that they're for people who are worth remembering. Ah, yes, of course. Is your dad horrible? After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast and got changed into my favorite outfit. Croven's gone and the bus I take into town should be arriving any minute now. Where should I go today? Dude, I'm thinking the cafe. I decided to go to the new cafe that opened up. Planet Dollars is a popular coffee chain, but we've never had one in this town. Planet Dollars? Is that a reference to Starbucks? How clever. I've always wanted to go to one just to try it, you know. Although, I don't actually like coffee. Aha, then get a scone. But still, I could at least see what they had, right? When I go to the cafe, it was already packed. I thought since I had already been around for a few weeks, some of the hype surrounding it would have died down. But I guess not, seeing as how noisy and crowded it was. Still, at least it was something different from usual. As I said, I'm not particularly fond of coffee. And since I had a light breakfast anyways, I decided to treat myself with a muffin. A chocolate muffin. Because sweet foods are the best, this is a fact, and also saving. Not saving over something. Let's try... There we go. However, I found myself in a bit of a pinch when I tried to look for some place to sit down. It seemed as though everyone's seats were already taken, and I didn't want to walk and eat at the same time. Luckily, though, I was able to find an empty seat. How fortunate. That seat does not look empty. It looks like there's somebody there. Oh, sorry, the seat across from him. A girl around my age, with the most spectacular eyebrows, was diligently working on her laptop with an empty seat across from her. I figured she was writing an essay for college or something. Ah, okay, so we're college age. Coffee shops are popular with people in college, or so I hear. Seeing as this was the only seat left, I asked her, "Excuse me, may I sit here? Where's your muffin?" She didn't verbally answer me. Rather, she glanced over at me, rolled her eyes, and nodded to the empty chair. Ah, Menduxina. I tried to apologize. I tried to look apologetic as I sat. Mary, quit being a beta. You're allowed to sit in an empty chair if they gesture to it without having to look apologetic. She's also being very diminished with Croven. Very, rambling with Reginald. I guess it's the personality trait, but you don't have to be so apologetic. Thank you. Oh, there's your muffin. It's a very delicious looking muffin. What are you working on? Yes, fill the silence. Sorry, can you shut up for a second? I'm trying to concentrate. Oh. Sorry. Stay quiet. You have the most spectacular eyebrows. What if we just stayed quiet, I guess? So, you're interested in what I'm doing here? Well, yeah, I guess. You seem to be very focused after all. As focused as I can be. You know, there's a library where you could also be working in total silence and not being a bitch. What's your name? Me? I'm Mary. Twyla. Nice to meet you. Anyways, I'm working on a report. A report like for school? No. Have you noticed something odd going on in town recently? Yeah, people are getting kidnapped and murdered. That's something odd. I'm not surprised if you haven't heard about it. It's like the police are trying to dull suspicions. Or just arrest potential suspects so everyone can feel safe. Oh, are you talking about the killing rumors? The Blackwood Butcher, right? Don't say it so loud! But, yes. How did you know? Oh, well, I've been hearing the rumors for a while now. And, actually, my aunt and uncle died pretty recently. They were, killed? Really? That's actually pretty, how did they die? Well, you were gonna say cool or interesting. God, you're a jerk. I like you, though. I'm gonna put you higher than Reginald and Coven, but below Mary. Oh, I didn't I don't know. No one really told me, but the circumstances were strange. Like, they didn't die naturally. Well, yes, that's the definition of being killed. There was definitely someone else involved. Okay, maybe there's more mystery to this than we thought. At least that's what I've been told. Uh-huh, interesting. You know, maybe you can help me with this report. And, some other stuff. Oh, I can? Yeah. If you're okay with that, of course. Oh, yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, having a killer around is bad, so if I can help, like, raise awareness or something. I mean, like, yes. I'd like to help you. Thanks. This'll really put me ahead. Titch! I have to go, actually. I'm running late for something. Here, give me your phone number. I'm not entirely sure I'll need your help, but I'd rather have a way to contact you just in case. Oh, please be a Yuri visual novel. I'm feeling some chemistry here. Oh, yeah, of course. Twala and I exchanged phone numbers. After, she packed up her laptop and was picked up by a car outside. Come to think of it, I didn't actually see her drink any coffee or order any food. I guess maybe she finished before I got there. I don't know why she would choose such a noisy place to work, though. Maybe it was because she was listening to conversations around her. We already figured out she was listening to rumors and stuff. Dots. After spending my day looking in some nearby stores, I went home pretty tired. I ate leftovers for dinner and yawned more than once as I got changed into my pajamas. I plopped myself onto the bed, pulled out my phone, ready to continue my nightly conversation. David? You're there, right? Of course I am. I don't know why I keep contacting you. I guess I'm just afraid if I don't, you'll disappear or something. It's unlikely. I know you won't tell me where my parents are, but can you at least tell me why you took them? No. Why not? I don't know who could be seeing these messages. I'm not showing them to anyone. Promise. Are you worried about being traced? Possibly. I may even change phones from time to time just to be careful, but you'll know it's me. I don't know if that should be comforting or not. I really don't see how this works. How am I supposed to trust you? Aren't someone dangerous if you don't give me any info to go off of? Especially when I haven't even heard from my parents. Goodbye, Mary. Sleep well. I felt sick that night as I tried to go to sleep. I tossed and turned so many times, and yet I was still too tired to get up and try to do something else. I don't remember when, but eventually I was able to fall asleep. I didn't sleep very well, though. I'm not going back out there. You saw how they were looking at me. I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe it's better if I don't anymore. Maybe the mom is a mute. After I got out of bed, I made myself a small breakfast. Girl, start your day off with a great big breakfast with bacon and eggs and pancakes, a tall glass of orange juice. I got changed into my favorite outfit. Croven's gone, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and here we go, and outside. We're going to go to the cemetery today. Although, wait a minute. No. Actually, I changed my mind. Where is it? History. Main menu. Yes, we're going to instead We're gonna follow up on the cute owl thing. I was just there the other day. Maybe I should try going somewhere else. But why? Oh, wow, we're just... She got out of bed. She went all the way back into bed and got out and made herself another breakfast because she doesn't want to go to the cafe. Fine, we'll go to the cemetery. I went to my favorite place, the cemetery. The cemetery is pretty much on the same block as my family's restaurant. I thought it was a diner. Is a diner the same thing as a restaurant? I guess it is. Right next to it, in fact. A perfect location! All you have to do is cross the street. It's on the same side of the road. I think my parents chose this location because it's good for business. That's what Mom told me anyways. Okay, never mind. Mom is not a mute, unless she signed it with hand language. People are usually hungry after a funeral. Crying really does take a lot out of you after all. I was always glad to live there because I really love visiting the cemetery. I like to walk down the rows and see who got flowers that day. That's what I do most days. Sometimes I'll pick my own flowers and just leave them on graves that look like they've been forgotten about. I'm actually quite known for the cemetery. Some people have even began to use a nickname for me, though I don't know many of them even know what I look like. Is that a Splatoon character? Looks a little bit like the Splatoon thing. I like it though, it's cool. There's a huge variety in the head shapes of these characters, I love it. When I arrived at the cemetery gates, however, I was surprised to see Croven standing there with what looked like a new friend. Croven? Mary! Ugh, did you follow me? No, I didn't. You know I always come here. You're asking Cemetery Mary why they're at the cemetery? Yeah, but that's usually not until later. Why are you here so early? I mean, it's not as if I had anything better to do. Is that a girl you're talking to, Croven? Well, do you have to be here right now? I'm kinda on a date. Oh, good for you. Oh, look at you go. Oh, this is a date? I'm not gonna assume the other character's gender. I just hope they're a girl. I mean, it can be if you want it to be. I'll think about it. How was I supposed to know you'd be here? What if we just left? Who's your friend? That's a little nosy. I want to know, though. Ta-cha! This is Vaseline. No, this is Vasilis. I met him at the arcade. Yo. Sorry, Mary, but can you please go? I really just don't have the energy for this right now. Pinches his fingers between his eyes, looks at the ground. Just can't deal with this Mary walking up to me, my family member that I literally live with. Oh, God, what a pain. I've literally only talked to her for 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I'll see you later when I make you spaghetti. Later. See you some other life, Mary. I left Croven alone. Saving. Wow, cool. Okay, I'm going to literally put Vaseline higher than Croven. He's not as bad as Reginald, though. Wait, it wasn't Vaseline. It was something else. I already forgot. I didn't want to interrupt his little date or whatever. I especially didn't want to make him more mad at me. However, I wasn't going to let him stop me from going into the cemetery. I continued on, past the gates, and stepped inside. It seemed, emptier than usual. It didn't look like any funerals were being held today. Would it be, mean of me to wish there was? A little, but not bad. Yeah, it probably would be. Forget I said anything like that. It was a really awful thing to say. Well, no, it wasn't necessarily awful. It's just, you like the funeral part, but, to have a funeral, someone has to be, no longer alive. They should have funerals for people that aren't dead yet. That's a great idea. Just, appreciate their life. When nighttime rolled around, I headed back home. I slipped into my pajamas and headed to bed almost immediately. I was almost hoping that there was going to be some cool little creepy creature for us to be friends with at the cemetery. Of course, though, I couldn't sleep right away. I had someone I needed to talk to first. Good evening, again. Good evening. May I ask you something? You always do. How do you know my name is Mary? I've always known. Huh? I've always known what your name is. Yeah. Did my parents tell you? Have we met before? No, if my parents told you, he would have known since they kidnapped them, unless he knew the parents before and they told him before, in which case we have a relationship now with the parent. I think that we've met before. If we did, you probably wouldn't remember. What if it's Uncle Ray? Uncle Ray is even higher than Reginald. If so, we didn't meet? Take the if as a maybe. We may have met before, but would it make any difference if you didn't remember me? It would be as if we were meeting for the first time. That's weird. I'm uncomfortable. Any updates on my parents? They are fine. Will I ever see them again? Yes. Because I'm coming to get you too. I just need more time. Good night, Mary. I'm finishing a great book called The Something of the Locomotive. I went to sleep feeling pretty shaken that night. I tried not to think about it. I'm surprised I was able to get any sleep at all. I'm surprised I didn't have any nightmares either. Except for this one that's about to happen right now. Oh, Uncle Cross. Oh my God, Uncle Cross is awesome. Yeah, Mary? Uncle Cross, can I ask you a question? Sure thing, kiddo. Shoot. How'd you lose your eyeball? Mary. That's fine, I don't mind. I lost my eye in war. You were in war, Uncle Cross? I was. I won't get into the specifics of it, but it was important to me that I protect my family in any way I could. Do you miss it? My eyeball? Yeah. Oh, no, I meant the war. You know something? Not as much as I thought I would. I think I would miss you a bunch more. Uncle Cross is awesome. I'm going to put you below Mary, below the owl girl with the awesome eyebrows who I've already forgotten. That's your place. Twalaya. All right. We're going to continue our next meetings in the very next episode. See you then.